know that I want him to be a cop. It might be worth
I know I wouldn't want him to be a cop. Yeah. That's you shouldn't. You can't be behaving that way.
You haven't even seen his arrest record. What if he was literally the best cop you'd ever heard of? What if he was so goddamn good? Purple Hearts, 7 silver stars,
about his
8 golden donuts. Okay,
8 golden.
He was the.
I didn't make that up. I read it. I don't know if it's true, but
Dare Fine.
I would have to know the average number of complaints for a cop in that area.
18 seems like a lot. How many times have you complained about the police?
I've never submitted a cop complaint.
Me too. Kyle, are you also at 0?
I'm at 0. Yeah.
And you would have done like, okay, can you file like an FBI complaint? Like, hey, these guys didn't even find all the shit they were looking for, idiots.
that was more just like embarrassing at the time. Because like what it was when they were looking for explosives, they like got all my guns in one area and like put them in a pile, basically. And I think it was mostly for a safety thing. It's like, let's get the guns in one room. Because y'all know how I had guns. They were everywhere. And somebody must have said, let's get all the guns in one room for safety purposes. All the guns.
Dude, you have no idea. They're just sitting there on a bipod pointed towards the door.
It was Christmas. It was under the Christmas tree. Yeah, and also, that rifle's particularly hard to store away. You know, it's a big boy.
So you just keep it on the living room carpet.
Yeah, because I was like, man, it wouldn't
just give every DoorDash guy
down that hallway. It won't matter with old Betsy here. It was a 50 cal.
It was a 50 cal.
On a bipod pointed at the door.
Yeah. Like down my lawn. But in reality, it was under the Christmas tree for I think some like social media pictures, and it just stayed there because it just stayed there. Why move it? Why move it? Why not leave it right there? That's good storage. Anyway, they went to put everything in one room. And I asked when I got there, because I was out here in Atlanta at the time. I was hours away. And I was like, so all the guns are here? And I'm looking around. I'm like, some guns are missing. Now I'm worried that they've like, someone stole a gun? Like, did one of y'all steal one of my goddamn guns? Because you're saying this is all my guns and it's not. But they were just still littered about the house, like between 2 pairs of jeans in one case. Just in drawers, in my underwear drawer, all over the place. But they didn't take any guns that day. They were just kind of haphazardly clearing rooms, I guess, looking for explosives. They took all my tannerite. I never got that tannerite back.
That sucks.
They were never going to give it back, right?
Probably not.
Can you have tannerite?
I mean, I don't know what I'd do with it. I need to. Why would I want it?
Could you shoot a flaming arrow at it?
No, it didn't work like that.
Yeah.
What if you shot it very hard? Like a crossbow.
Actually, that's actually interesting. I've never put any real thought into that, I suppose. I could probably detonate it with an arrow, but it would involve maybe when the arrow hit, there'd be a secondary explosion where like a primer on the tip is punctured by the impact and it ignites an explosive charge that then reverses back and hits the.
Here's a question.
An arrow just doesn't hit hard enough. They don't hit hard.
5-gallon pail. Right, like drywall filled with tannerite.
Yeah,
but there's a bowling ball in the middle. Okay, you drop it from a very high building. Think it'd go?
No, not even close. No, not even close.
I thought there'd be a lot of squish.
No, you got to get fast. You need a lot of. I mean, there's a number. There's a number of whatever foot-pounds of force per cubic inch that need to be delivered upon that prilled ammonium nitrate.
That's why I did the bowling ball. The bottom of it, big smush.
I just
you might have too much surface area. It wouldn't hit hard enough, takes because it just needs to ignite one little part, right?
I was always told that like it's got to be the rifle. It's got to be the rifle. It's got to be the rifle. You can hammer it with a hammer as hard as you fucking can, because that would be the thing, right? Like one kernel of it, smashing it on an anvil.
Yeah,
nothing happens. It just turns into mush. There are more sensitive kinds that would do stuff, but when I would order the sensitive stuff, because they make some stuff for 5.56 caliber rifles and faster. That's standard tannerite. And then, but for my videos, sometimes I would want something not only hotter so it would ignite fuel sources and make fireballs, but I'd also want something that I could detonate with a slower bullet if I was using 22 caliber machine gun or a shotgun in particular. If I'm using a Sega 12 shotgun and I want to be able to blow stuff up, then we need some sensitive, like target media stuff. But they wouldn't, and then you could buy that stuff in very small quantities because it was much more powerful. maybe 12 times more powerful than tannerite, like a 12-to-1 power ratio. And so when you order it as a regular,
I have
I may have, yeah. And if you ordered some as a regular consumer, they'd send you these little pre-made targets that had a little stuck in them, and it was like, yeah, shoot the bullseye and this pops. They don't send you a bag of stuff to mix, but I could get a bag of stuff to mix, so I could make my big like pyrotechnic like show stuff, But no, I can't imagine a bowling ball wouldn't do it, and I could rig an arrow up to do it probably if I really put some thought into it, but not legally, without licensing and stuff, I mean, I've done that before. I did a video where I blew up a dummy shooting it with a bow and arrow, a crossbow, and there was all sorts of jerry rigging and camera trickery. Not camera trickery, just explosives wired.
You made it look like it was the arrowhead, but it was actually something else that happened when the
it was actually Dad touching two wires together. I was like, you hit the wires when it hits the target, and he's back, and it's just like, thunk.
Isn't it on that topic? So your father would do that well. I bet if you're like me, there's a lot of people in your life who you're like, I just don't know that they're competent enough that I would trust them to touch wires when an arrow goes.